Okay, let's dive in. We're unpacking something really fundamental today, aren't we?
We really are. It's about describing your daily life, your routine,
Mm.
the kind of conversation you have constantly in any language.
Absolutely. What do you do every day? What's your typical week like? Seems basic.
It does. And grammatically, it is pretty basic. We're mostly talking simple present tense, which is usually the first thing people learn.
But here's the paradox, right? This is where so often the conversation just stalls
Mm,
or sounds really unnatural.
exactly. Can sound choppy, kind of repetitive, honestly, a bit boring, like someone just reading off a schedule.
Yeah, like a machine. I wake up, I eat, I work. Tick, tick, tick.
And that's the core problem I want to tackle for you. You might be saying things that are grammatically correct, perfectly accurate even.
But it stops and starts, stops and starts. There's no flow. It doesn't feel like a conversation.
Precisely. So our mission here is to give you the structure, the techniques to take that simple list of verbs.
And transform it. Turn it into a smooth, natural-sounding narrative about your day that someone actually wants to listen to. Engaging.
And the first step, drawing from our source material, is a bit of a mental shift. You need to stop seeing your day as just a list of things you do.
Okay, so not a list. What then?
Think of it like a journey on a time train.
A time train. Okay, I like that. It suggests movement, connection, things linking together.
That's the idea. Every single event, waking up, grabbing coffee, starting work, whatever it is that's a S stop P on the train schedule.
Right. A fixed point.
And the simple present tense, like I wake up, I eat, I work, tells us what happens at that stop. That part's usually okay.
But if you only talk about the stops, you get that choppy feeling we mentioned, the start-stop problem.
Exactly. So for smooth travel, for flow, what does a train need?
It needs tracks, something to connect the stops and allow for smooth movement between them.
Precisely. And in our conversation, the sequence adverbs are those tracks. They're crucial.
Ah, okay, so you're saying just using "and" isn't enough. Like I wake up and I brush my teeth and I get dressed.
Well, and connects things, sure. But it's flat. It doesn't give any sense of structure or progression, really. It can sound a bit breathless if you overuse it.
So the sequence adverbs provide that structure. They guide the listener.
Absolutely. They signal, okay, we're moving from this point to the next logical step. They build the narrative flow, mandatory for sounding natural, really.
So which ones are the essential tracks for our time train? The absolute must-haves.
Let's start with the core five. First, next, then after that, finally. Master these, and you immediately sound more organized, more fluent.
Okay, first, next.
Mm-hmm.
Then, after that, finally. Let's
Yeah.
try it. Maybe with the morning stop.
Good idea. Let's contrast. The choppy list version might be, I get up, I make coffee, I read the news.
Yeah, very basic. Functional, but
Right. Now let's lay some tracks. First, I turn off my alarm. Next, I drink a big glass of water, maybe check my phone quickly. Then I head downstairs to make some coffee. After that, I'll usually sit down and read the news for a bit before I really start my day. Finally, maybe I'll check my email.
that feels completely different. It flows. It guides me through your morning rather than just listing facts, and you've naturally added more detail just by using those words.
The sequence words create space for that detail and make it feel like a story.
Okay, so the tracks are laid, the time train is moving smoothly, but, even fast trains can run into trouble, right? Derailments.
Definitely. Grammar mistakes can really make things sound unnatural or just plain wrong. Let's talk about a couple of common derailments. First up, frequency adverb misuse.
Ah, yes. The always trap.
Exactly. People love using always for routines because, well, it feels like a routine, but always means 100%, every single time. No exceptions.
And life rarely works like that, does it? If I say, I always have toast for breakfast, but maybe once a week I have yogurt.
Then always isn't accurate. And it sounds a bit strange if someone knows you sometimes have yogurt. It feels overly rigid.
So people use it because they think it sounds definite.
I think so. They want to emphasize the habit, but there are much better, more natural ways to do that if it's not truly 100%.
Like what? What does the source material suggest instead of always?
Use words that reflect the reality more closely, usually is great maybe 80 or 90% of the time, or almost always if it's very consistent, but, allows for that rare exception.
Okay, so I usually have toast, or I almost always have toast. That sounds much more human.
It does. It reflects the nuance, like, I almost always drive to work, but if the weather's really nice, I sometimes walk. That gives a much richer picture.
More accurate, more interesting. Got it. Okay, let's move our time train along to the afternoon stop. This is often about work, scheduled activities.
Right, and precision becomes important here. This is where prepositions really help add detail to the schedule.
Can you give an example?
Sure, instead of just, I take a break, you can say, I take my lunch break at exactly 12:30, using at for specific time.
Okay.
Or maybe, after lunch, I usually walk around the block for some fresh air, using around for movement or location,
And ordering things.
using before and after. I try to answer all my urgent emails before I start on my main project for the day. These little words add a lot of clarity to the schedule.
But there's a bigger grammar trap here, isn't there? Especially with work tasks. The tense confusion.
Oh, yes. This is a critical one. Using the present continuous, the ing form for regular routine job duties.
So someone might say, this month, I am managing 3 big projects.
Exactly. Or right now, I am writing performance reviews. And the listener immediately thinks,
That it's temporary, something you're doing just now, or just this month, not part of your regular job.
precisely. Because the present continuous is generally for actions happening right now or temporary situations.
But wait, if writing reports is what I do every month, and I happen to be writing one right now, why isn't I am writing correct? It is happening now.
But the key is whether it's part of your regular established schedule or job description. If writing reports is a recurring duty, something that's expected of you routinely.
Then it belongs on the time train's regular schedule.
Correct. And the tense for schedules and routines is the simple present tense, even if you're doing it this very second.
So instead of I am managing client accounts, if that's my core job.
You should say, I manage client accounts. Or instead of I'm writing reports, say, I write monthly reports.
Okay, simple present for the routine, the schedule, the job description.
Got it.
That makes it sound much more like a permanent responsibility.
It does. It sounds more professional and clearly defines it as part of your regular work structure.
All right. So we've got smooth tracks with sequence adverbs. We've avoided the grammar derailments with frequency and tense. Our time train is running efficiently.
It's accurate. It's flowing.
Why? Is it interesting yet? We arrive at the evening, stop leisure, hobbies, winding down. Accuracy isn't enough here, is it? We need personality.
Exactly. This is crucial. You can have a perfectly sequenced, grammatically correct description of your routine, and it can still sound like a robot reading its logs.
Yeah, boring is boring, even if it's correct.
Right. Conversation needs connection. Personality. And we've got 3 pro tips from the source material to inject that life into your time train narrative.
Okay, pro tip number 1.
Use intensity. Don't just use the basic verb, upgrade it, add some descriptive power.
So instead of just I work,
Maybe say, I focus intensely on my main project until about 5 p.m. See? Focus intensely tells me much more than just work.
okay, or instead of I relax.
How about, I totally unwind by watching a dumb comedy show, or I really chill out with some music.
Ah, I see. Adds color. Stronger verbs, adverbs that show how you do the action. What about I cook dinner? How could I intensify that?
You could say, I love experimenting in the kitchen for dinner, or maybe the opposite. I quickly throw together something simple for dinner. Both add intensity and character.
Much better. Okay, pro tip 2.
Add a personal comment. This is about sharing the why behind the action, even just a little bit.
The why. What do you mean?
Connect the action to your thoughts or feelings. It makes it relatable. So don't just say, I drink a glass of water when I wake up.
Okay, how do I add the comment?
Add a short thought. I drink a big glass of water right when I wake up. I feel like it really helps kickstart my system. Or, I always read before bed. It's the only way I can switch my brain off.
Ah, okay. It gives the listener a little window into your reasoning. It connects the action to you. Let me try with the cooking example. I quickly throw together something simple for dinner. Honestly, I'm usually too tired after work to do anything complicated.
Perfect. Now I understand your motivation. It feels much more like sharing, not just reporting.
Right. And that brings us to pro tip number 3, which feels like the final piece of the puzzle.
It really is. Pro tip 3, the how about you link.
Because conversation is a two-way street.
Exactly. It's a bridge, not a one-way road. The absolute classic mistake is delivering this perfect, detailed monologue about your routine and then just stopping. Silence.
Leaving the other person hanging.
Yeah. You've just laid out your whole evening stop, maybe used intensity, added a personal comment, looks great. But then you need to pass the conversational baton.
So how do you do that smoothly?
Use a linking phrase or question. After you describe a chunk of your routine, loop the other person in, for example. So yeah, after dinner, I usually read for about half an hour to wind down. How about you? What do you do in the evenings to relax?
Okay, that explicit question invites them directly into the conversation. It shows you're interested in their time train, too.
Absolutely critical. It turns your description from a presentation into the start of a real discussion. Without that link, it just feels like you're reciting information at them.
So these three pro tips, intensity, personal comment, and the how about you link, they're what elevates it from accurate to actually engaging.
They're the magic ingredients. They add the human element, the connection, the back and forth that defines real conversation.
Okay, so let's recap for everyone listening. You now have this whole toolkit. You've got the time train structure, using those key sequence adverbs first. Next, then after that, finally for smooth flow.
Right. To use the simple present tense for your regular scheduled routines, avoiding that present continuous trap, especially for work.
And you've got the three pro tips to make it engaging. Use intensity with stronger verbs and adverbs, add a personal comment to share the why, and always use the how about you link to keep the conversation moving.
Putting all that together, that's how you take a potentially boring topic and make it a natural, interesting exchange.
So the key now is practice, right? Not just knowing the theory.
Absolutely. Immediate application. Don't wait until you need to describe your entire week perfectly. Start small. Focus on one part of your day.
Which leads us perfectly to our final challenge for you today. We want you to put this into practice right now.
Yes. Your challenge is this. Describe your evening routine. Let's say, specifically, the block of time from about 6 p.m. to 9 p.m.
Okay, 6 p.m. to 9 p.m. And the rules.
You must use at least 3 different sequence words, maybe. First, then finally, or next, after that, then choose from the ones we discussed.
Got it. 3 sequence words.
You also need to include at least one preposition that helps define time or location, something like at, after, before, or around.
Okay, 1 preposition.
And crucially, incorporate at least one of the pro tips. Either use an intense verb or adverb to describe an action, or add a short personal comment explaining why you do something.
So 3 sequence words, 1 preposition, and 1 pro tip for your 6 p.m. to 9 p.m. routine.
Exactly. Take that time train for a short, focused test run right now. See how it feels.